Are you ready? The Monsters of the Midway are on HBO's Hard Knocks. The most iconic franchise in the NFL is finally getting a behind the scenes look. Everyone in Chicago can take the L, but what we all really want are W's. The first episode of Chicago Bears training camp edition of Hard Knocks featured a lot on new look Matt Eberflus, our rookie quarterback Caleb Williams, and safety Jonathan Owens. One of the first things I noticed was a suggestion from Matt Eberflus that might have led to Montez Sweat missing practice. To run the hill? This is something I actually mentioned earlier in the week. I do not feel like Montez is hurt, but he has been missing practice and has been seen running the big hill behind practice. Eberflus was quoted in this episode talking about guys doing the extra stuff to be great, like running up hills or whatever it may be. So this might have actually been Eberflus's idea. The show did a really great job of hyping Caleb Williams up, but also showing how real he is and some of the struggles he's gone through early in camp. Really cool to see that behind the scenes. They showed off a lot of Caleb's highlight throws, so I'll throw a couple on the screen here. One of my favorite moments from the first episode was Nick Saban talking to Matt Eberflus about developing Caleb Williams and managing expectations with a rookie quarterback. It even showed some of the highlights of Eberflus as a linebacker from back when he played for Nick Saban. The best quote he said had to do with Peyton Manning. The scoreboard didn't affect him until the game was over. Basically, he didn't care what the score was until the game ended. Think about that for a minute. Even as fans, a lot of us watch differently when we're losing. I myself, I'm more tense. As a quarterback especially, you want them to not let the scoreboard affect how they play. It was one of Peyton Manning's greatest qualities and something that hopefully Caleb can master at the NFL level. I would have liked to see more of Nick Saban's talk with Eberflus, but I'm glad we got to hear some of it at least. And it did also do a good job of showing a couple examples of Eberflus doing exactly what Saban told him when it comes to developing Caleb. That was cool to see. Show also featured a really cool Caleb Williams intro that played to the 1990 Bulls walkout music, something that all Chicago fans should love. The team's reaction when Caleb told him his $25.5 million signing bonus was priceless. Tyson Bagent looked like he was having a seizure. DeMarcus Walker's face was worth watching the episode for alone, but it did also show some behind the scenes looks at the coaches and the players interacting with our rookie quarterback. He was booed during his karaoke song. He's definitely a better quarterback than he is a singer, but you really got to see how Caleb has looked in camp. His knowledge of the offense, his interaction with coaches and teammates, and you got to hear from Caleb himself. The show was worth watching just to see so much Caleb Williams to me. The downside was it didn't show enough practice footage, and there was literally not a single mention of Gervon Dexter. I don't know how you talk about the first week of Bears camp without mentioning Big Dex. He's been one of the standout players every single day. The show featured possibly too much talk from Matt Eberflus's wife and questions about Simone Biles. I personally would like to see a little bit more focus on football in the upcoming episodes. I did think it was really cool to see Theo Benedict get featured a little bit. Flus would call Theo the Eagle after he had a funny moment on this week's show, breaking out a bald eagle Speedo during his rookie karaoke session. Flus joked, "I'm not going back down there until he puts his pants on." But unfortunately, later in the episode, Benedict would get hurt during an extra point attempt in last week's game versus the Bills. I've rewatched the tape quite a bit, and I actually missed Benedict's injury. Maybe I should stop skipping the extra points when I'm watching the All 22. But Theo has a grade 2 strain of his right hamstring, which should keep him out 4 to 5 weeks. That is basically till the end of training camp, which pretty much means he's going to IR or practice squad. Theo's chances of making the 53 this year all but ended when he got hurt. I honestly doubt we would have heard anything about Theo's injury if it wasn't for the show, though. So hopefully we'll get some more behind the scenes looks, although they didn't show anything about Nate Davis. One final thing it showed was the team extending DJ Moore. He was down on the practice field and they pulled him off to sign the extension. It was a really cool moment to see, And the saddest moment of the show was Austin Reed's parents traveling all the way to Canton to see their son play, and the game would get suspended shortly after he entered. Hated to see that, but the first episode also talked about Brett Rippon and Colin Johnson and their big game in Canton, and it showed off Matt Eberflus's beard and haircut transformation. Overall, it was a really cool episode. I give it about a 7 out of 10. I would just like them to show more practice footage and see more player interactions in the next episode. But overall, I think it's really awesome to see behind the scenes looks into Chicago Bears training camp, especially during such an important time for our franchise. The future of this team has never been brighter, and we get a behind the scenes look at some of our favorite players and the people in the front office. I love it. Let me know if you guys saw the episode and what your thoughts were. I'll be back in just a couple of hours recapping practice. For those here early, though, there is no Nate Davis today. Surprise, surprise. Remember to hit that like button for me, guys. Stay tuned, and until next time, bear down.